So this is actually the starting point for the assets I've chosen. And if you just jumped in from the end of the last lesson, this looks far less impressive. In fact, it looks quite basic. So being aware of the flexibility you have to change the materials is quite important. You can use a really basic starting point, but you can very quickly start to make it look much more premium. So first of all, I'm going to try to change the materials for our glass votive. And at the moment, there's a bit of transparency. We have a separate element. If I select this for the wax, the wick, and the glass, and I'm going to change the filter on my starter assets to materials. Again, there are actually premium materials that you can purchase, but I found the starter assets for materials at least are more than sufficient. So I'm going to use this matte finish for the glass, and then with that glass selected, which I could either double click, you can see here it says glass, and we have a label matte for the material that it's using. I'm going to, under properties, change the base color. I'm going to change that to something that's maybe an off black, like a matte black color. I quite like that. That's great. And you can see I actually dragged and applied that material to everything, to the entire object, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to apply it to just one element. So I'm going to double click to select the wax. And this time, rather than dragging and dropping, I'm going to just click this wax material here. And you'll see that applies it to just the selected element of the object. And I'm going to be changing that color anyway to, again, an off black, maybe something about there. I deselect to get rid of the outline. I can get a good look at the way that's coming together. The wick could be black, but let's do something a little more interesting. I'm going to select the wick. And the material, well, it should really be, I guess, a type of rope, isn't it? I'm just going to use cardboard and then color it with something as close to a champagne gold as I can get it. I think something about there, maybe a little lighter. That's it. That's nice. And now let's turn our attention to the box. So I really like the preset texture that they have for this piece of ribbon here. So I want to make sure I don't overwrite that. So I'm going to carefully select the elements one by one. So I'll start with the top. And I'm going to, I think, again, use a matte finish for this. So I'll click matte. And we'll use the same color. It keeps your recently used colors at the bottom here, which is quite useful. Now, if I want to match this exactly on the bottom, rather than going through the same process again, I can simply select the bottom by either double clicking it in the canvas or clicking it from here within the folder. And if you use the I shortcut, that will take you to the eyedropper tool. And if you then click on the object you want to copy, it will not only copy the exact same finish and color, but it will create a link. And under the contextual actions here, you can see the option now appears to break link to material. And what that means is, until I break that link, whatever changes I make now to the color, the finish, is going to apply those to both parts of the artwork. I'll undo that change and I'll leave the two materials linked. So that can be quite handy. And if you have a whole range, let's say, of objects, and you want to link certain materials, that can be a really time-saving tip. So I'm almost happy with this as a base. But as you can see in the, we could call this the here's one I made earlier. I do just want to change that strap to a champagne color. So I'll double click this time to select it. And this textile matte, I just want to change the base color. And again, I can use the recent color I created so that the gold there matches the champagne gold of the candle wick. I'll deselect And that's it. We've changed the materials and we're ready to start loading our artwork onto this. So let's do that together in the next lesson.